Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Melman Podcast. My name is Zach Marzo.
David Melman.
And we have Danielle Atkins here. We're very excited to have Danielle here. She's awesome. You know, I say every time that we have just guests who are super positive, but I mean, that's the reality. We don't bring anybody in that's got negative energy or that just isn't kind of supporting the community, supporting other people, supporting local businesses. And, you know, she has a YouTube channel, which specifically I'll shout it out now. What is she cooking? Danielle will touch more on this, but more about her filming recipes, making things, trying to just be a healthy person, live a healthy lifestyle, which, you know, we're all about. Outside of that, I know she does some film, where she studied film and has a photography business that she can explain more on as well. And outside of that, she does what is the most honorable, which is taking care of kids, you know, while we're all at work, you know, watching kids, teaching them, you know, being the eyes when parents are at work and, you know, just being a good support system for all of us who trust in childcare providers and things, which is super cool. So thank you so much for being here and, you know, just share a little bit about who you are and what you do, and we'll let the conversation just flow from there.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Danielle.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Again, I am Danielle Atkins. I have my photography company. It's Highly Favored Photography, and I am a YouTuber. What is she cooking? So if you're looking for some great recipes, please check that out. That would be awesome. But yeah, like you mentioned, I am a teacher. I work for Kids Are Kids, the Milton and Crabapple location. So if some of you guys live in this area, you might know me. But yeah, that's my heart. I love teaching children. I love, you know, just connecting with them. And it's nothing like having somebody small and knowing that something that you teach them, they can carry on through their life. So it's changing lives, and that's what's really important to me.
Sure. Well, you're spending so much time with them as well, and that's why I kind of said, you know, you're the eyes and ears, and I mean, you're practically raising children as well, because I mean, I've had teachers, whether it was in high school or all the way down to elementary school or whatever, even before, even when I was in daycare, and it wasn't like a facility like Kids Are Kids, but I do remember times at daycare and the impressions that my teachers had on me, and it's awesome. You know, you're kind of, especially with your personality, just being fun-loving and outgoing, you know, from what I see, you know, you make it comfortable for people to obviously want to drop their kids off and just trust that you're going to, you know, leave a good impression on them, right? Absolutely. I mean, that's super important. And I guess, was that, I guess, your first passion, or were you, because I know you had studied film here locally in Atlanta, or I guess, what did you go to first? You know, what came first, teacher and or the creative side of you of, not the teachers, you know, obviously a lot of them are creative, but was it the film and photography first, or was it more of going into education and wanting to pursue that?
So that's an awesome question, actually. So kids, I went to first, and that's what brought me to film. So, you know, kids don't judge you. You can be silly, you can be crazy, do all these crazy things. An adult will look at you and be like, okay, that's crazy. But a kid's going to laugh and do it along with you. So I started working for Kids Are Kids back in 2009, which in Houston, which I'm from Houston, Texas.
Oh, cool.
So I started working there back in 2009, and I would just make up stories and act out and put on my own little like show.
Sure.
And the teacher who I work with, she was like, you know, you should do acting. You know, you should really pursue that. And I was like, yeah, okay. You know, I love entertaining people, but I never thought about, you know, oh, I'm going to be this big superstar. But then as I thought about it more and I seen how passionate I was about it, I was like, okay, I'm going to research this. And so I did. And I knew that Atlanta was a smaller Hollywood. So I was like, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to move to Atlanta, which was crazy because my mom was like, what? You're going to move to Atlanta? I'm like, yeah, we're out of here. So
any family in Atlanta when you made that decision?
So he was my boyfriend at the time, my husband now. His mom lived here.
Awesome.
So
very cool.
That was a good cool. That's funny.
So yeah. So when I moved here, I of course enrolled in acting classes and things of that sort, which was awesome. But I was like, you know, I really want to learn the inside of it, like who's doing the work behind it, not the person who's on screen, but who's behind the scenes. And that's what made me go into pursuing, you know, film. So that's what that came.
That's from. Really cool. You know, it's interesting. One, I mean, taking that leap of moving is kind of just courageous to begin with. Not many people will even move outside of their hometown in their state, let alone across the country. I mean, Houston's in dead center really of the United States. if my geography's on point a little bit,
south.
but moving to Atlanta is not middle like that, meaning like, central. But
For sure.
nonetheless, I'm no, I can't even probably fill in all 50 states. Who knows? Maybe I can. It gets a little hairy up in the Northeast. There's just too many things going on there. But either way, I think it's awesome that, you took that step, and it's probably very difficult to, everybody, maybe when they're, kids, they want to be an actor or actress, whatnot. But I mean, it's like artists where they can do their craft for so long, and it's like that 21st year that they finally make a breakthrough. Everybody's been doing it for so long, and people get discouraged because they'll do it for a year or 2 years and then just kind of give up, when a lot of times, it takes a lot more hard work and dedication, and that, to pursue, what you're passionate about. And I think YouTube is an awesome way to kind of do something now to get yourself out there, which is really cool, because I started a YouTube channel myself, and I got kind of lazy because it's a lot of work, not only filming, but then editing takes a lot of time. And especially if you want to post frequently, that's difficult to do. What made you then want to start doing stuff related to food and or health on your YouTube channel, outside of just, picking anything, or just vlogging, because some people will just do, this is what I'm doing today, and people will watch it, as I will, some people I follow. But why that category, if you will, of health and food, and, what you're passionate about there?
Okay. I, like yourself, I started a YouTube way before I started What Is She Cooking, and it was just like, I want to be a YouTuber like everyone else. But like you say, it's so much work. Like, you have to stay consistent in order for your, subscribers to grow. Well, why I chose to go with What Is She Cooking is because I decided to change my life in the way I ate, and, wanted to be healthier, and, I want to live a long life. That's what we all want.
Sure,
live a
of
long
course.
life. And so I thought about it. I was like, a lot of people don't eat healthy because they don't know how.
Sure.
So if you don't know how, I'm like, okay, let's experiment together. So that's what Is She Cooking is. It's basically taking these things that are healthier and basically just whipping something up. And I'm learning as I go. So it's not like, I'm not a chef. I don't know, I didn't go to school for cooking. I literally just get in the kitchen and do what my
You really enjoy it? You enjoy cooking?
I really enjoy it. Like, it's my happy place. It's nothing like somebody tasting your food and like, oh, this is really good. Because,
it's a good feeling.
We always think our stuff is good. But
I know.
somebody else check it out. It's just like, oh.
Agree.
And it's healthy, yeah. So.
It takes a lot of mental toughness, too. I mean, it seems like everything you're discussing, the move to start from Houston to Atlanta, people can't do that. A lot of people are scared to make that leap. Creating a channel, going into a certain avenue and then completely being in the same avenue, but reversing it and going through looking through the lens of it. And it's just a lot of, mental toughness to make the decision and continue following your passion. A lot of people, like, you guys said, give up after a year or two, or, they have 4 followers and 10 and then 50, and then all of a sudden they go to like 51.
Yeah.
What happened? And you got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm sure you woke up day one, you had 1 follower or 1, subscriber, and then it grows and grows. And that's the game. It's the long-term game. If you think you're going to just cheat and put the cheat codes in and spend $100 on some Instagram followers or YouTube fake stuff to make yourself feel better, you're going to eventually, I think, burn out. But if you're in it for the long run and doing something you really care about and you're passionate about, whether it's, the cooking, photography, whatever it may be, you can grow that to any kind of limit you want to grow it to, And like you were talking about earlier, organic followers, organic leads, not just paid people that are there to pretend like they like it, So I'd rather be slow and steady, have a great foundation, than having a bunch of spam and garbage in there to fluff it up, you know? And it's always about what you want. Like, what do you want to do? You want to, I think a lot of mental toughness to do that and follow through with it for a long period of time. People give up a lot. And we started the podcast, and somebody told us, like, the biggest thing you got to keep doing is keep doing it. Yeah. Like, don't just stop, because so you want to keep pushing it and putting out good content, as you do as well. Yes. So I think I also want to throw a little bit of entrepreneur in there if I can. I don't think we've used that word, but let me ask you this question: how do you combine the two into one in a way? Because obviously with photography, a great photographer, it costs money. You have shoots, you have packages you sell. How can you leverage the cooking YouTube channel, like what is she cooking, into the photography business, if you don't mind me asking?
With that, I first will say
Okay.
I'm a believer, and my favorite scripture from the Bible is I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Sure.
And that's what I go from. So with like taking photography, when I'm cooking and everything, I'm taking pictures of my food.
Okay.
So it helps me to grow, and I have to edit those videos. So it helps me to go in and like yourself, I look at other people's YouTube videos. So if it's something that I don't know, I'll go to YouTube and I'll learn from it. So I feel like merging them together, it's helping in my business side, but it's also helping in my hobby, which
Sure.
is the YouTube.
That's what I was thinking was like you're shooting video, what you're cooking. Obviously, you can't take pictures of yourself as you're cooking, but whether it's like the ingredients you're using or you put like maybe you have a video on YouTube of you're cooking your, favorite dish, but then you have like a 5-page kind of recipe book that, you put your pictures together of the pictures you took, ingredients, during the process, afterwards. I don't know, like what popped into my head, it'd be cool, like if you had even, your favorite recipes, you have pictures of those recipes, and, every recipe had a scripture to it or something like that, that people could, read and appreciate. Because at the end of the day, not everybody has a lot of food to eat or even the choice. That's what I think is incredible in America, is a lot of people, that can be healthy and, can eat. Most people, can afford things that are healthy because I think they've gotten a little bit cheaper. More people that want organic, like you can buy certain fruits and vegetables at Aldi or Farmer's Market that aren't, they're as expensive as the bad stuff, really, in most cases. But it's just being, I don't know, just grateful for what you can eat and do. So I don't know, I just kind of thought of that off the top, that it'd be cool that, because people, obviously it's very normal for people to pray before they eat a meal for whatever they're grateful for. So, having that recipe book where you can combine, those couple of things. But do you do what do you like to photograph, or who do you like to photograph, or what's kind of because I know I've seen a lot of stuff with graduation and things. I mean, people love doing, my wife, like she wants to do pictures, like there's all of a sudden, you have wedding pictures, then there's a second set of wedding pictures because the first ones get old, and then you're pregnant, and then you want to have those pictures, and then you want to have pictures after the baby or the gender. There's so many events or people that take pictures. Do you have like a favorite, or what's your kind of go-to so that people would know, hey, I want to have those pictures done, where can I check your stuff out, type of thing?
Yeah, I really wish I had a preference, but I don't.
Sure.
Like I am the type, I will just take out my camera, and if it's some beautiful clouds, I'll take pictures of clouds.
Just be creative, sure.
Like it's just the creative side. I love doing family pictures because I love to see family interact. It's nothing, when you're a photographer, people think when the camera comes on, I have to act, I have to look perfect.
Sure.
But I feel like the perfect picture is you being yourself.
Yeah, just the candid shots.
I really, really enjoy like just random shots.
Right.
They're always my favorite. When I go in to edit, it's the ones that they were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that came out that great. It's
right.
because you were being yourself.
Sure. I'm not the one that's good at pictures, like to ask my wife.
Most people hate pictures, and
and
I
they're so
really
important.
don't, but they are, because you hate them in the moment, but at the end of the day, you have something to look back on, and
Absolutely.
it's like, man,
It's memories.
Yeah, I'm the guy in the photo shoot where I'm like, how many more pictures to my wife? You're probably dealing with this all the time. You see people and everyone's smiling, and then they're so important, and she loves them, and she wants to have them, during seasons, and it's just important, and it's great to know this now because I know next time we do them, I'd love to have you a part of that,
Absolutely.
So I think, what do you tell people that are just starting out in that, because you're doing it because you love it, right? And then you've converted it into, a business to try to generate profit and do what you love, because obviously time is money. I don't care if you love it or not.
Yeah.
The bills won't stop coming just because you love something. You have to pay for things.
Absolutely.
So what do you tell people that really love what they do, their hobby, but they're just not taking that extra leap to push to that level of creating maybe a business, a small business, and then growing it? What's your most valuable advice you could give?
Okay. So let me say, with photography, this was a gift that I didn't know I had. This was a gift that God gave me that I didn't know I had. How I found out that I knew how to take pictures was a friend was starting her jewelry line, and she was like, hey, can you take pictures of me? And at our school, I didn't have a camera or anything, but at Georgia State, they allowed you to rent out equipment. So
cool.
I got a camera, and I was like, okay,
That's
I don't
awesome.
know how great this is going to turn out, but we can go for it. And so it was her having faith in me and seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself.
Sure.
So what I would say to anyone who's starting out in any kind of business, just don't give up, especially if it's in your heart to continue to achieve it. Like you say, it might take 21 years before you get to where you want to be.
Sure.
But anything that comes easy, you can lose easily. But anything that you work hard for, it's going to last for a long time. And it's nothing like working hard for something and people seeing you grow rather than somebody seeing something being handed to you so easily. So
Yeah, I like that. That's what I love that mindset.
Yeah, I would say especially to, the younger generation, if you will, that a lot of times things happen so quickly, whether it's how quickly your Instagram page loads or how quickly you get an email or how quickly you can check out at a grocery store. Like no one's used to patience and giving things time.
Yeah.
And some things just take time, right? Obviously, you can't speed up the process of a 9-month process of a woman, conceiving to then giving birth. Like there's certain things you can't shorten.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of enjoy the process, and that's half of the battle, right? Is kind of enjoying it along the way. But you can, your backbone is teaching, and then obviously, whatever else comes out of your kind of side business of what you like to do, you never really know. So you have a good foundation. You're not just like chasing, this dream that isn't there, right? You go to work, you work hard, you work every day. And then, when you have your free time, there's still hours in the day for you to, do your side hustle, so to speak, or just do something you enjoy and try to learn and grow and kind of,
Sure.
go from there.
And with teaching, I'm sure, you're interacting with children all day, and also the parents see that. They know, like, who kids love.
Yeah.
And once they know about that, and do they know you have a photography business?
Yes.
There we go. So now my mind's always thinking, like, how do I connect the main source to different things, Because sometimes people like to think outside the box and, like, do photography and then something completely the opposite of the spectrum.
Right.
And I'm big on like solidifying your core foundation and then building around that rather than diversifying to the point of where it's confusing and you're all over the place and scattered.
Absolutely.
So you do a great job caring about these children from your heart, and that converts into the parent seeing that, which why would they not want to take a photo shoot with you, And then the next thing you know, they love cooking as well, and they're watching your channel. You're getting more subscribers. So it all connects if you do it the right way, and patience, like you said, a huge statement that people just forget the art of patience maybe these days. Everything's so quick, like you said. You want information, it's at Google or this. Everyone's quick, but really good work takes some time, and it just takes time. And if you don't have patience in this day of age with opening up a new business, you're done.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
How does kids are kids? Because I see like I'll follow on Facebook and Instagram. Some kids are kids locations have those platforms, some don't. And my thought is like, there's so many kids are kids locations that like you could be creating for kids are kids as taking photos, managing the platform, because at the end of the day, it's a business. You need people to pay monthly for the kids to go, and you guys want to be the best. And from what, Wendy, our office manager here at Melman Law Group, shout out to Wendy. She's like, sings so many praises about kids are kids. And I'm like, I don't have kids yet, but I'm like ready to
You're gonna
enroll.
go there.
I'm like ready to enroll him in kids are
I
kids
know,
because
true. Yeah.
there's the she can watch him during the day, see what he's doing. They make, they have photos there for the holidays. They do so many things that it just sounds like an awesome place. So if you can capture that through camera footage, whether it's film or video, and you're documenting that and blasting it on social media, because every business can get better with their, with marketing digitally, so to speak, on social media platforms. And, kids are kids. Like I see some stuff, but obviously everybody's can be better. So I think that would be cool. I don't know if that's ever an opportunity at some point to be like, hey, I'm going to, somehow get paid from Kids Are Kids, not only to be a teacher here, but, document obviously what we're doing and turn that into ads on Facebook or Instagram and talk about how awesome Kids Are Kids is. And who's better to talk about it or capture it, I guess, than you, because you work there and you shoot film. So
and you care. You don't just, you work. You more than work there. I know we meet people all day that work there.
Yeah.
And then there's people that really work there and they care about where they work.
Yeah.
Big difference.
It is. And all of Kids Are Kids are individually owned. The one that I work for is Milton and Crabapple, and I have to say it is absolutely, like, Wendy is not lying when she said it's the best. Like, that's a family there.
Yeah.
We're
That's
a
awesome.
family, and I do use my platform, to show the parents, how great their kids are. Some kids are shy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not outspoken, outgoing, but you do have those kids. Well, summer camp is, summertime.
Mm-hmm.
So each summer camp for the last 2 years, we've made videos. So
Sure.
we made mini films. And so you can check those out actually on
Sure.
the Milton website.
That's actually
sure.
really cool.
Yeah. And so it's just a way to, one, get the kids involved and also give them that outlook of being able to be the director. 'Cause nobody talks about, I want to be a teacher or I want to be, a professor or president. Nobody say I want to be a filmmaker because they don't know what they consist of. It's
Right.
just like I want to be the actor because that's what they see. But
Yeah, of
I give
course.
them that opportunity to, here, you hold the mic and be the sound person. I give them those different roles so that they know that they have more than one opportunity to be the star. If you're shy, you want to be behind the scenes, it's opportunity there.
Sure.
A lot of opportunity. That's a good point because not everybody can be the the star, I guess. And that's a good point. If you find different opportunities in the same industry, that way everybody can have a chance to try it. That's really neat.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, you don't need to be celebrity. There's a lot of people behind the scenes, even with music, guys that create music and produce beats and things.
Absolutely.
You never heard of them. They're the ones who, they're the reason you're listening to it's because of the music, not necessarily because of the performer. Obviously they play a role too, but it's just, there's people behind the scenes that a lot of times you don't really, you take for granted because you just think it's, the face.
Yeah.
And, most of the time it is the back end stuff that's so much more important than, what you're actually seeing.
Yeah.
But I think that that's super cool with the making films during the summertime and documenting kids. Like my grandmother took so many pictures when I was younger, and memories fade, right? Well, then you have memories of memories, right? It's like a memory of a memory, and that just keeps going on and on. But pictures, it brings you back, or capturing footage. And we're in a day where we can capture so many things and store them, which people couldn't do.
Yeah.
So that's that's awesome. I mean, if somebody, is watching this or they're checking out your YouTube and they're like, hey, I want to look at her stuff. Obviously they can check you out on Instagram. Is that the best way to message you or find you, to be like, hey, I want to, call you up. I have this is happening. We're on a family vacation, or who knows? We want some pictures taken. What's the best way to contact you so that they can talk to you, get to know you, and kind of, who knows, maybe use some of your services there?
Absolutely. The easiest way to get in contact with me is through Instagram. It has my website on there too. Where
Okay,
you can
cool.
book if you want to book, and it has all the price sheets and everything breaking
Right,
down.
perfect.
So absolutely.
Sure.
The highly favored photography Instagram
Right.
will be the easiest.
Right there.
Do you have, I don't even know if I could answer this, question, because it's always like, what is your, 5 years from now or 10 years, do you have a vision of what you'd like to be doing at that point? Or you kind of just along for the ride, and whatever opportunities come up that you're passionate about, you just kind of take advantage of,
Well, some people say I would like to, but I'm just going to put it into the atmosphere and say I'm
sure.
going to.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to be directing a film.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
you
I'll be
definitely can, I mean, you have all the tools, it doesn't need to, you don't need to direct something out of Hollywood for it to be, even short films or smaller films, as long as you have the software to do it, the camera to do it,
Absolutely.
anything is possible.
The heart to do it.
And the heart
to do it.
absolutely.
That's right. And that's, I think, the biggest thing from, I would say I get from you at least, and watching your YouTube, because I've seen a couple of videos, I've seen even pictures. Obviously, Wendy, says awesome things about you as a person, and I think that's the real X factor, is outside of any skill, is just being relatable and passionate about what you do, and
Absolutely.
giving a hoot about other people. And it just, people want to help people that are good people.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it, yeah.
that's I would rather much support just somebody who I know is just a good neighbor, so to speak, and help people that are good people.
Yeah,
there's a lot of businesses out there, that big box places that nobody really cares about, and it's like, support somebody locally, somebody who's working hard and deserves that opportunity.
And somebody we want to thank you for coming on. We've known you for a couple of years, and always positive energy in every
All the time.
any kind of conversation or anything, So we want to thank you for coming on. We hope you guys can reach out to her. Amazing person. You'll feel her energy right when you sit down and meet with her. And anything else you want to add before we get off? Anything you want to throw in there?
I just want to thank you guys for having me.
I appreciate
giving
you.
me, the platform. Let me come on your platform and
Sure.
talk about my
Well,
business.
Danielle, she supported, what Melman Law Group was doing from before, and it's just I don't know. It feels good when people support you, and obviously you just naturally want to give support back. And that's why we wanted to bring Danielle on to share who she is, what she's about, and, you know, wish her the best with everything of her photography and creative side, and, you know, taking care of everybody over at Kids Are Kids, and just, you know, living your best life. That's what it's all about, right?
Thanks, Danielle. Thanks,
Cool.
guys. It was
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you.